Alrighty, hey guys, thank you so much for checking out this making of episode 1 of Hallowed, and if you haven't seen my short film, make sure you check it out because there will be spoilers in this video. But thank you guys so much for watching and the support, and yeah, let's get right into it. I'm just pulling up the scenes and everything right now. I'll pull it up over here. So the biggest thing with Hallowed was I loved making scary films, making thrillers, things like that. That's something we really want to do, but I haven't really took everything I've learned over the last few years and my new camera to make something really good and really do that. And I'm not saying this is fantastic by any means, but it's, as of right now, I believe it's almost the best I can do. I'm sure I could do better, but yeah, it's kind of where I'm at. But I wanted to test my skill, and I love horror, and it's Halloween, so I mean, obviously, why not? So I started with this idea of, I'm like, well, we don't have too many people to help us, and it's hard to plan things with people, even if I could get people to help. And so I just used whoever I had on hand, aka my brothers, a roommate, stuff like that. People I had, access to multiple hours of a day without having to plan anything. And so to do that, you have to make something you have resources for. So Hallowed is a series kind of like American Horror Story, where each season is going to be a different story. It's going to be this particular season is about the Hallowed Man and his story of that. But the next season will be something completely different. But those shows use all the same actors and actresses, but they just have different stories to tell. And that's kind of what I want to do. I have more support. I can get stuff done faster, and then have some cameos or some guest actors and stuff like that if I can make time for them in that way. And so that's the idea behind the whole thing. This is episode 1, kind of setting up the creature and setting up kind of what he does and his whole premise and stuff like that. And we had this mask that we got from Spirit Halloween, and that mask is featured, obviously, right here. So that mask is something we found at Spirit Halloween in Bismarck, and we do that a lot. Me and my brother and Rob, we go shopping a little bit around and like to see basically what we can find for like props and things like that we could buy and maybe use in a feature film or something like that, or something future TV show or something like that along the lines. So we shop around and find stuff, and this was one of the things we found. We found the gloves and this mask, and it was all in one, stuff like that. It's like $40. And it just looks really good. It turned out really well, but obviously you don't want eyeballs and things like that seen in the thing. So there obviously has to be VFX done to combat that. So one of the ways we combat that is I go through and frame by frame mask out the eyeball and blur it, add some texture, things like that, and making sure it matches the eyeball so that way you don't see that there's a eye behind there. And honestly, it looks more like, even single frame, it looks more like it's like a hollow skull behind it, which I really, really like that, especially when our theme song has a skull there at the beginning. But I really like how that looks. I don't like how that looks. But yeah, so I liked how that turned out, but that's the premise behind it. We get all these ideas from shopping around these local Halloween shops like Party City and all this and that, and it's just fun to do that and think of ideas and stories that we could create by shopping for this stuff. But obviously visual effects is a big part of doing this, and there's definitely plenty more VFX shots that you guys will probably even know in this. And obviously, me being a nerd about visual effects, I'm definitely gonna gush all over this, but you guys probably could care less. But this is one I was proud of, and you probably didn't see it, and you probably won't see it in this either. But in this beginning shot where I come in through the front door, there is a scene right there. You can see somebody, he walks into frame right there, and you can see him walk right out right as I about walk in here, turn the light on, see him walking out right there, and he's gone. So I kind of like setting those things up and do a little Easter eggs, so that could be, you can interpret it how you want. But there's a few of those throughout it, and I'll see if you can find all of them. I'll give you a hint, there's like 3. But yeah, so I do a few of those throughout there. So fun fact about this next part, so I know we haven't met in person. The guy talking right there is buddy Mike, Michael Pelham. He He's a friend of Dylan's, my brother, who met him in college through a mutual friend. And he was super nerdy into this stuff, too, and Pokemon and all this stuff. And so they hit it off right away. And he's since moved to Florida, back home where he's from. And they still talk almost every day. I talk to him. Mike's good shit, and he's always down to help film stuff. Doesn't matter what time of day. I can call him. He wants to be in shit. He's ready to roll, ready to do it. And that's what I like about Mike. He's a super big asset when it comes to that. He helped write some of the words and things like that, kind of what to say. He was a correctional officer. If you want to learn more about that, we have a podcast episode, Scatterbrain episode 2 of the podcast. We talk about Jeffrey Epstein and stuff. It's me, AJ, and Michael in that, and we go and elaborate on more his position and stuff like that. But Michael's good shit. Hopefully we see him again soon. But yeah, he helped me out big time with this. And we always try to include him as much as we can, virtually or in person. So this scene, I thought it was really cool because you could basically, you know, it's like a cabinet shot. It's kind of cool. I just really like, you know, obscure shots that you don't normally see always in films and stuff. And this is just one of those things I really like doing. This was a shot I ended up filling in later. It was one of the last shots of the entire thing because I wanted to add in my reaction to the stuff that was happening to my character. You know, he's having to get stuck into going, you know, to court and battling something he's pretty much gonna lose in because he killed somebody, you know. So like that was a big thing, but we didn't want to give it away completely of what he did, so that's where we kind of kept Michael's voiceover is kind of as vague but also a little detailed as possible. So yeah, we just wanted a little reaction to that, so on and forth. Fun fact is this scene here where I throw the cup. I wanted to find a glass mug for cheap somewhere. I went to Marketplace, could not find shit. Couldn't do anything. I wanted to be a little more dramatic and add glass to it. I was like, oh, I'll just throw a plastic cup and then I'll add a glass sound effect. But then the thing bounced back. And hit my leg. So I was like, well, that's stupid. Everyone's going to see that. So you can see it here. Boom. And it bounces back and sits right here. So I was like, well, that's not going to work. I ain't going to be able to do that. So that was something I had to do on the fly. And I was like, well, I guess it's just staying in there. So another fun fact is Bruno was supposed to come up during this because obviously he's in the film. He did not want to listen. He just stared at me and was scared the entire time after I threw the cup. So I guess I should have knew that was coming. But he would not want to film this at all. So I was really bummed about that because it would have been way more meaningful and sad if he came up. But oh well. I guess I can't humanize my character that much. But this is my acting chops, guys. It's not very good. I'm not really acting. I'm just showing one emotion, but it's whatever. You kind of got to do what you got to do because if you talk in something that you're not really an actor for, it really breaks the immersion. So I try to not talk if I can. This is the most advanced VFX shot out of the whole thing. This is 3 shots in one. So this plate with my shoulder and this is all one shot. But then I shot another thing, and this is me right there in the garage. That's me in the garage dressed up as the Hollow Man, and that's a different shot. I just cut out this little square of the window, and I feathered it and stuff like that in After Effects and slapped it in there, and it looks like one clean shot. And then in this same shot, I have another shot because Robert is now dressed as the Hollow Man, and he's going to be coming up behind me here by the sink, and he walks past you'll see him move here, but he walks past this lamp, and it's a dead giveaway, but it's so hard to see. You probably don't notice it, but now I'm pointing out. You see it's right there. You can see his shadow. You move it. So now he's moving forward. But then what happens is after this happened, he actually went back and he covered the lamp, and it was clear as day. But yeah, there's his mask there. He came up. He shut it off. He's backing up now. Now, the shot I had prior, you see his shoulder here. He backs up into the lamp. You can't see it. Well, what I did was I cut this out, and this is a separate video as well, and it's blending with the other 2 shots. There's a whole lot of shit going on with that, but yeah, so that's that shot. This here, our fire alarms go off 24/7, so I thought it'd be a good idea to just slap a sound effect on there because as we were filming this, they went off because we were using the fog machine. So this shot, I wanted to kind of make it have people understand the layout of the house and kind of show it off. You can clearly see the fog on that, but the fog just adds so much atmosphere to it. I really like it. And then, so this is just me clearing out the house and stuff like that. That's overexposed. I fucking hate that, but it's whatever. Can't get every shot perfect, and it's no use trying to re-record something. But so, anyways, we're looking around the house. We're doing all this. You might have noticed, but we don't go into that room, and that was because Robert was recording his YouTube channel for Lestrals. He was recording some videos, so we couldn't go in there. So I just kind of blew past it. And here I didn't know what to do. I just filmed this. Like, this was like one of the first shots here of the film. And I filmed this because I didn't know what else to do and to lead me down there. And so that's why I started doing the voicemail thing and the creepy girls singing and such. But there's this thing called Splice. It's a program I have that you pay monthly for, and you can get different creepy... No, it's not just creepy, but any kind of sounds. And what I do is I take them and I modify them and do this voiceover and stuff. So fun fact, that voice is... you can tell it's a little odd, the older woman's voice, not the child's, but... yeah, it's my voice, but through voice mod, and they have like an AI voice changer that tries to help replicate. But I thought it sounded so creepy. I was like, I know it doesn't sound like a human, but it sounds so creepy that it's actually kind of a cool thing. So I just left it in there. I thought that sounded cool. So we did that, and then the child's voice was just clips from Splice that I just slapped together. So this next part we filmed multiple times. So my little brother is actually standing there, but you can't see him. But you can sometimes see them depending on the compression of the video, which is kind of crazy. But here, the idea, people were kind of confused about the cops coming and stuff like that. The way I put it is they hear the smoke alarms and everything like that going off. Basically, it's, you know, you can interpret it what you want, but you could be like the neighbors called them on them, or maybe the smoke alarms are tied to like a 24/7 security thing or whatever. But anyways, I needed something as a distraction, kind of, to lead away from the stress, all the tension I built up, to get a really solid jump scare, which I thought paid off really well. I really like how that turned out. The fog down here is beautiful. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do for this because there was so many effects that I could do, but I didn't want to like oversaturate like crazy, so I just left it as basic as I can, and then I just added some distortion and camera shake and stuff like that. So fun fact, this is also 2 shots. This phone drop is actually a totally different shot. I actually shot this clean plate second. I thought the phone should fall in there because everything's tied to the phone, but I didn't do it in the shot originally with Bruno walking through. So I re-recorded this and then cut out frame by frame the phone and had it drop at a similar angle to the floor and added a sound effect. And then I had to, because Bruno walks a certain way past the thing, I actually had to masked out Bruno's paws as he was walking by, so it looks like it's behind him. So I had to go frame by frame and mask out his paws and stuff like that. And then this was a simple shot. I just zoomed in slowly. That's it.
Hello, we're not available now. Please leave your name and phone number after the beep.
And I love ending with that voicemail because I feel like that voicemail makes it sound like someone's calling me, like my phone, the character in the show. And I have just a generic voicemail set up, and they can't get a hold of me because I disappeared, you know? So I kind of like how that ended. And then just a funny little cheeky jump scare for the credits, which I really, really like. Oh. So, but yeah, that's basically the VFX breakdown. I just want to make this short little thing real fast to kind of show you guys how some of the stuff was broken down. But I really appreciate you guys checking out the film. Make sure you stay tuned and subscribe and hit that bell icon so when we drop episode 2, you know, it's gonna be a little bit, but I'm trying to make some moves and make it as fast as I can. But I really appreciate you guys checking this out. Yeah, I'm Dustin, and we'll see you guys. Thanks for checking out Dollhouse Pictures.